Ian Humphreys, and the voice of the Schools Cup, as ever, Jim Neely.
Gavin, thank you very much indeed. You know, it's exactly 150 years since the first final of this remarkable competition, the second oldest rugby competition in the world, and there's absolutely no truth in the rumour that I was there commentating 150 years ago.
At the end of 2025, we sadly lost a pillar of Ulster Schools rugby with the passing of the great John McKinney. John McKinney dedicated 43 years of his life to the club at Campbell College during his time he was first 15 coach and master of rugby. John also served as Ireland under-18 manager. John, husband of Valerie, father of 4 Ulster fly half James, and my friend, colleague, and co-lieutenant Rebecca. As a coach and mentor, John inspired many, and his lasting impact on and off the field will never be forgotten. We would now ask you to join us in a moment's applause to remember the life of John McKinney.
So, a well-deserved applause for the late John McKinney, master in charge at rugby at Campbell and senior boarding master for many, many years. A wonderful man, a wonderful rugby player, played as a wing three-quarter, a very speedy wing three-quarter, but a terrific rugby coach, appreciated the nuances of the game, a great rugby administrator, and will be sorely missed by all concerned, not just within the confines of Campbell College, but in the wider Ulster rugby family circle. Let's have a look at the teams. Campbell have got a mobile forward pack, and strong props in Caden Doyle-Dolan and Conor McKinney. The Wells brothers, James and Harry, are respectively at scrum half and right wing. Isaac Hatch has returned from injury to play in the centre alongside the Campbell skipper Paul Henry. The Inns backline is bristling with pace and attacking intent, especially in midfield, which is organised by out-half Charlie O'Connor, who was a cup winner 2 years ago. Adam Boyd at number 8 was also a member of that 2024 team, and Leinster captain by the replacement hooker of a couple of years ago, now in his 3rd year on the first 15, and he's Ross Dillon. Referee is Keane Davidson, who's a high-performance referee with the IRFU. Very experienced with the AIL games, URC games, European games to his credit. And Ross Whitfield and Colin Stanley are his 2 touch judges, or assistants in modern parlance. So here we go, the 148th by my calculation Schools Cup final. This is the 16th between Campbell and Ince. And Campbell have had the edge with 7 wins, Ince with 5, 2 games drawn, the last are way back in 1960 when Robin Hogg from Campbell and Ireland's future Irish hooker John Birch shared the spoil. A bit of a breeze, but not much in the way of sunshine, and no rain at the moment. And it's going to be inside half centre 2 years ago. Charlie O'Connor gets us underway. Big long kick, well taken in by Campbell. The feature of Ince play in the last couple of seasons has been outstanding defending, and they have to do that against a very pacey Campbell backline. You can see the strength of the wing is hanging. That's well chased by Campbell. Well taken in by left wing Roos Lobo.
Use it 9, thank you.
Again, Campbell win it at the breakdown. Again, it's James Wells, the older of the 2. Well, nobody's claimed that. Back on the Campbell side, that's well tidied up by Rory Parks. He touching nerves all the way through at the moment. Well driven by Rannan Potter. Here come Campbell at a bit of pace. As the captain Paul Henry gets it away nicely. This is great stuff by Campbell. Wells for the corner, gets away from the tackle. Wells for the line, and he's got there. What a try by young Master Wells. Just the start the boys from East Belfast would have wanted. Terrific bit of finishing, and there's no substitute in Humphrey's first pace.
What a start for Campbell, Jim. And I think Ince yet to touch the ball. I think we've seen over the Six Nations how important that winning the kick battle and winning the chase in the air. And twice Campbell put up the box kick, twice they recycled and got it back. And then we saw the danger immediately there of left winger Russ Lovo. Seen his pace and athletics over the years, and just to get that break, get away from the ends cover tackle, and then great 2-on-1 and finishing, and a lovely finish in the end by James Wells. Perhaps could have used his supporting fullback, but a great start for Campbell.
Jack Best, son of Ulster and Irish international Simon. Struck right nicely. Oh, just carried in front. So no conversion, but what a start for Campbell College. Came into this as a slight underdog, with Ince very much as favourite, but that's all gone out the window.
It has, Jim, and especially with Ince playing with the wind. They'll be looking to try and make sure they have a bit of a lead by half time. So key is very early, settle down, get the next score on the board.
Charlie O'Connor coming down cleverly just outside the 22 now. Was that knocked forward? Not so. Rory Parks gathered it in for Campbell, playing with a lot of confidence.
Use it!
Particularly with this fellow in charge. James Wells, older brother, or younger brother Harry on the wing. He's only 16. O'Connor gets it away nicely. Good passer of the ball. There's a chance now for Ince to put a bit of speed in the whole thing. This is nicely done. Good transfer to Adam Miller. Here goes Miller. Miller is disgustingly quick. Look at Adam Miller. What a score in the corner. And after a wonderful weekend of international rugby, it permeated down to the school level. And we've seen a second cracking try. And what a start to this spectacle.
Unbelievable, Jim. We just talked about what happens whenever the ball doesn't get kick and recover, and Ince, what a counter attack. The box kick slightly too far, and then great hands initially by Ince. Andrew Purcell gets it across to his back row colleague Elliot McGowan, who then, as you said, Jim, feeds whenever Adam Miller got the ball. I didn't expect him to be able to finish it from that far out, and it just showed a great turn of pace. And what a start, 3 minutes in, a try apiece.
Wow. People are still piling in here. There's one of the biggest crowds I think I've seen for a Schools Cup in many a long year. And here's Charlie O'Connor, played in the centre a couple of years ago. Was a cup winner from far out, not too far away, mind you. So 2 tries, no conversions, not even 5 minutes gone, and it's 5 apiece. Campbell 5 and Ince 5.
Yeah, Jim, I think this could be a sign of things to come. Hopefully both teams in the semi-final had a bit of an ambition to attack from wherever the opportunities arose, and I think today with that win, goal kicking is going to be difficult, so it's going to come down to a case of who can score the most tries, and it's all about just making sure for Ince that they try and get a lead with this win.
This 4G surface, there's no excuse for not playing running rugby. Here's Best to restart. Gathered in by Ince. Sebastian Clark gets it back to O'Connor. He's kept that in nicely. Leo Graham lets it bounce.
Always in front of kick.
He was given a penalty against him, so I'm not quite sure what for.
He was in front of the kicker, Jim, and it's one of those ones that technically is probably correct, but with a kick that's gone 60 yards, you want to let momentum go. But I understand the referee calling it back. He wants to make sure that he gets things under control nice and early in the game. But those are the kind of mistakes that can be a bit of a killer. It gives Campbell that easy access now into the instant 22.
Adam Boyd set it up well. Campbell have got the penalty, and Best is going for the corner. Oh, just about made that and no more. The assistant on this side, Ross Dillon, not altogether happy with that. Thought it went dead, but no. And Campbell have got the line out 5 meters from the Ince line. Just 5.5, almost 6 minutes gone.
Yeah, Jim, that's the same wind as the semi-finals, that the ball kept coming back and playing. Actually, Charlie O'Connor kept that in, so Ince will feel very hard done by here if Campbell get the score.
Well, taken in by Campbell now. Can they get the forward momentum and get a second try? Ince don't concede too many from this sort of a range, and they're pushing Campbell infield, but the boys in black still have it, and here they go for the line, and the referee is well positioned, and Campbell have got themselves over. It's a very well taken try by Campbell.
A great set piece by Campbell, Jim. A team that you've always known has always been well.
Beg your pardon, and Campbell's hooker David Nelson with the touchdown.
Always through the days of Brian Robinson and beyond, Campbell's line out their maul has always been a really strong part of their team, and great control there at the back by David Nelson. He could have gone early, but he stayed patient, got squared up and just drove over the line. So a great start by Campbell, Jim, to have scored 2 tries into the wind early on, and frustrating for Ince considering that it came from that soft penalty to give away.
Can he judge this one properly? Yes, he can. Wonderful conversion by outside half Jack Best, who scored 26 cup points to date. Now make that 28. We've played, what, nearly 8 minutes? And Campbell leading by 12 points to 5. And Ince have it all to do.
Yeah, very, very nice strike there by Jack Best. In warm-up, he was hitting them nice and cleanly, and you can just see technically very, very good. So great strike to him.
Restart kick by Charlie O'Connor was nudged forward by Ince. Referee playing advantage to Campbell College. James Wells sets it up. And the Campbell forward pack have been inspired so far. Wells again. That's hanging.
Back off, yellow. Well
taken by Ince. That was O'Connor was underneath that. Never took his eye off it. Sebastian Parks has got himself in there. The inside forwards trying to do the business. Campbell digging in. Boyd, O'Connor.
Not on ball.
Referee playing on. Alan Boyd goes in low to the ground and clears out a couple of Campbell defenders. Parks kicks, and again the wind is just holding it up a little bit. Well taken on the far side by Leo Graham.
Nearly open. Leave it!
Referee's playing on. Campbell's told to leave it. Well, they've just gone over there, but the referee's happy enough to play on. Ball has gone loose. Well picked up by Campbell.
Use it.
Wells again. He's had a great game so far.
Stop.
As is this man Best. Has that gone straight into touch? Yes, it has. Well, it's a very treacherous wind, Ian.
It is, Jim. You find it's swirling. It's hard to sort of pick a direct way it's going, but it seems to be coming from left to right as we're looking down here towards the far touchline. It's just a great decision again by Jack Best. Just unfortunate as a left footer, he hit a bit of a draw and the wind just took it. But Campbell are probably dominating the game at the minute in defence and trying to play the game, field position a little bit better.
Nearly 10 minutes gone. 12-5 to Campbell. Ince captain Ross Dillon, 2 tries in the semi. Here he is with the throw. It's gone awry. His opposite number, the try scorer most recently, David Nelson, makes a bit of ground. Wells with the clever kick, and that too is drifted into touch. So neither Campbell halfbacks quite judging the strength of this win. It is picking up.
No, Jim, I think the big thing for when school players, when they first come to the stadium, obviously they played semi-final. But what they're not used to is the wind that whips over the top of the stadium and then drops down. Whenever they're playing an open pitch at school, it's quite a consistent wind, but just trying to get used to that wind that's whipping round, just take a minute or two.
Dillon again. Better by Ince. Dillon comes into the back and the Ince forward pack start to shunt forward.
No. And use it.
Here's O'Connor.
Stop 13.
Miscued that one. Might work out too badly though for Ince. Jack Coulter. Jack Coulter's away. Coulter's still going. How's he doing that? This wonderful stuff by Ince.
Leave it now, off it.
O'Connor gets it away. Try scorer Miller.
No! Off feet 3.
Parks again. Here's O'Connor. Nicely done. Little chip into a bit of space. That's a nice. Can the bounce be good? The bounce is not kind and very close to a second Ince try, but not quite.
You know, you can just see immediately Ince. Charlie O'Connor is trying to use the short kicking game to good effect. He noticed the Campbell defence very tight. Good crossfield kick. to Jack. Was it Jack Coulter, I think? And he was unfortunate not to score after breaking a couple of tackles, and then another bit of space in behind, but just the bounce didn't quite go the way for RBAI.
Campbell have the defensive line out. David Nelson.
Okay, ball's clearly not thrown straight. There is a contest.
That wasn't straight, and Ince had actually contested the line out. It's one of these new dispensations, and that means that the side that didn't offend gets a put into the scrummage.
Yeah, I think, Jim, when it's as windy as this, I think it's probably worth throwing somebody up, especially it's going to be difficult to have a straight line out at all. Semi-finals again, to mention those again, all four teams really struggle with the wind at times, and they got away with the non-compete, so good opportunity now for Ince to attack.
Doyd Dolan on the Campbell loose head side up against the Ince tight head Ruben McElrath.
Down in the far side just before we picked.
Adam Boyd thought he was away.
Resets him put in. Standards good this side.
Will they try the same again from what looks like it's going to be a fairly solid scrum? Campbell right back in their own line. They've got to be just behind it. And there's a couple of little tippy toes are across the line, so technically they're offside, but the referee's not bothering too much with that. 13 minutes gone, 12-5 to Campbell.
Bind. Sit.
Here goes Boyd. Drops the shoulder, still going Boyd. My word, he's strong. Good tackle by Wells. Still there for Ince. Taken on by Conor Ballantyne. Right underneath the Campbell post. They need to get a try here. They're pretty close to it. Still there. Well away by Clark. Boyd for the line as he got it. Referee says no, it's not across the line. O'Connor moves it wide. That's nicely done, cleverly done. Into the corner is Jack Coulter, but it was made by an exquisite pass from Charlie O'Connor. Picked his man out beautifully, bamboozled the defence.
Oh, it's not given Jim their sense of forward pass, so a little bit of a let off for Campbell again, and I think, as you said, a great spot by O'Connor to see the space, and after a couple of really big carries by Adam Boyd, Ince will be disappointed not to have finished that off, but from up here looked okay, but obviously referee's in a much better position than we are, and he's called a forward pass.
Well, there's no question about that. Of course, it is a schools final, so there's no television match official or nobody doing that sort of technical stuff. Down to the referee and in consultation with his assistants. Ince taking the scrum down, trying to get a squeeze on, but that's well away. Wells gets it away nicely. Taken on by the Campbell skipper, Paul Henry.
Stop in front!
And that's been cleared pretty well by Campbell, given the wind. Where was the forward pass? Was that the forward pass? Not by very much.
No, I think it's one of those ones where if O'Connor passes and keeps moving forward, he probably gets away with it, but because he passes and he stops, it looks worse than potentially would have been. So a let off, but again, now a good opportunity for Ince to attack from inside the 22. I would imagine it would be a look at a head up with Conor Patton, or perhaps one of the forwards standing out.
Okay, let's go. Thank you.
Bit of a problem with Ruben McElrath from Ince. The Ince tight head, he seems to be fine though. Ronan Hamilton standing at the front, well taken in by the boys in black and yellow.
3 black, do change bind.
Campbell have dug in well. Conor McKenny being told not to change his bind. The Campbell tight head prop and still moving forward. This is good stuff by Ince, and they're still going.
Tackle, release.
Dylan the hooker helps to set it up. And Ince get the penalty out of it. And I'm pretty sure they'll put this in the corner in.
Yeah, I think so, Jim. It's either that or the in vogue play now would be a top play from 5 metres out and try and use the likes of an Adam Boyd maybe, and then another forward around the corner and just try and take it up that way and take out the risk of a crooked line out.
That was a good bit of forward driving by Ince, and Campbell really no option but to get themselves in trouble. Here comes Ince with the quickie. Referee got in the way. Play on, says the referee. Charlie O'Connor having a dart at the Campbell line all on his own. And the ball is spilled forward.
Let it come.
Play on, says the referee. Ince still in position. They're right underneath the post. Surely they're over. Yes, they are. That is a try by Ince. That is well done by Conor Ballantyne, the big second row forward.
Yeah, great work by Ince. We saw they obviously had the starter play where they were trying to just use Adam Boyd as the decoy, and unfortunately I think for Ince, The referee potentially got in the way of O'Connor passing wide, but as you said, Jim, O'Connor, no stranger from playing the centres in his younger age, able to take it into contact and recycle, and Ince from a couple of metres out, absolutely ruthless. He did so well there to manage just to get over the line, and they'll be delighted now with that score to bring them back in the game with Cian McLean, I think it was, getting the touchdown.
Little chip there by Charlie O'Connor. So we're back in level terms. We're into the second quarter of this game. I think it might just have been Cian McLean got the try, not Conor Ballantyne. Apologies.
Campbell 12, RBAI 12.
Yeah, it was the number 7 got the touchdown. Good restart by Campbell College. From Best kickoff. Wells, Best, nice little delay on the pass. Miller comes up quickly. There's a bit of a gap. And this is the man that they don't want to see release. That's Rusalo Vakuni Lovo. And Campbell get the penalty and a chance to go into the corner and try and strike again. He is deadly quick, isn't he?
He is, Jim, and I think what I love to see now is you see he's got number 11 in his back, but there he is, the same as the semi-final. He worked off his wing and he's creating that extra number, and that just makes it difficult. We saw so often in international rugby with Ulster, everything at the minute, that's where you're getting your overlaps. Defences are so good now, it's requiring that extra little bit of work rate. Lovo manages to come off the left when you see that Ince don't almost sort of spot him and identify him, and he gets over the gain line for a penalty. And now Campbell, can they get their maul going now again for a second time?
18 minutes gone, honours even, 12 apiece, 2 tries each. Little whisper in the ear of David Nelson, one of the Campbell try scorers. Well taken, one hand and then two. That's nicely done. Nelson's in at the back with the ball tucked in under his right arm. Now Wells moves it wide, gets it to the skipper Paul Henry. Ince complaining that it was knocked forward, but not so, says the referee. Here goes Nelson yet again, still going strong. Needs a little bit of help now. Spill forward, and that's going to get into the scrum, and that's good defending by RBAI.
Really good defending, Jimmy. You just see how aggressively they're attacking every breakdown. They're not making it easy for Campbell as well. And it's quite refreshing that there's no TMO, that we're just playing what's in front, and you just players getting on with it. They're not appealing for anything. They're just playing on it as what's going. And great defence there by Ince. They'll be relieved to not concede any points now. And I imagine that they'll try and get their exit out of here, and whether that's an Adam Boyd pick up to set a platform to then kick, or what they try and run from first phase.
I was talking to an old friend the other day who reminded me that it was 60 years ago since he captained Campbell College to a Schools Cup victory over Colwyn. And it's the remarkable Wilton Payton, who played in 3 successive finals and won 2 and drew 1. Pick up at the back by Boyd for Ince. Runs into Jack Best, not afraid to put the old body on the line. And Campbell making life difficult for the boys in black and yellow to clear this. O'Connor had to lean back and he was under a lot of pressure, but that's a very good clearance kick from somebody who was had a couple of the opposition swarming all over him.
He did well. There was 3 or 4 players easily could have been in a position for charge down, so not as clean an exit as Ince would have liked. Adam Boyd picking against the green makes it more difficult to potentially get the clean outs, and then a great scramble by Campbell. Now there again, putting Ince under pressure, and they'll be looking to try and get another score into this win to sort of take into the advantage after half time.
Little whisper to Nelson. Bit untidy, scooped up by Ince. As the recent try scorer, Cian McLean, got him right this time, takes it on. Bit of a slip by Ince, but they've got the ball in possession.
Okay, advantage is over.
The advantage is over. Here come Ince again. Sebastian Clark got it away. That's good work by Ince. Adam Boyd sells the dummy and then drives forward. Well wrapped up by big Charlie Best, whose grandpa David played a couple of decades ago for BRA in a couple of cup finals when they drew 3 in a row. Clark once again, not a bad kick at all. Good aggressive stuff by Ince, very nearly won it on the ground. Wells gets it away. Campbell's hooker, David Nelson, yet again, what a game he's been having. Back in the Campbell side. Look how quickly Ince are up in the Campbell faces. Wells to kick. He's kept that one in very nicely. Bit of obstruction there. I thought that there was an Ince player taken out of it. But play on, says the referee. Nelson again. Very aggressive tackling by Ince, trying to turn the ball over, and they have turned the ball over. What a great steal this is going to be by the Ince flanker Elliot McGowan. And he's won the penalty. Now a chance to go to the corner. That was great work by the Ince forward pack.
Yeah, fantastic. The box kick was a good option by James Wells, just held up. Ince couldn't quite get to it. But as you said, Jim, they seem to be identifying really well when to attack those counter rucks. And that was really great work by Elliot McGowan. Saw the ball was loose, got his hands on it. And unfortunately for Campbell, they didn't let go after the referee told them to.
Well, a very good kick by Charlie O'Connor, whose cousin Niall had a flirtation professionally with Ulster Rugby some years ago and is now involved professionally with the great Rory McIlroy. Look at the strength of that wind. It's really blowing into the Campbell faces, but it wasn't doing that a few minutes ago, so it's been swirling. And we have a brief stoppage for a bit of attention to one of the Ince players. It's been hectic stuff, but it's been very entertaining.
It's been brilliant, Jim. I think the enjoyable thing for our point of view has been both sides have really gone out there with the ambition to play rugby. They're not just kicking it, they're not just playing negatively. They're really sort of trying to stretch each opposition, and whenever there's opportunities to attack, they're really trying to take those. They're not just constantly looking for field position. They're not playing negative, not to lose rugby. Both teams have gone out there with an ambition to really enjoy themselves and really test themselves. And I think there's been a really high quality of rugby so far already. And I think, as you mentioned earlier, this pitch really does help that. Sometimes you get to this part of the season, the pitch could have been heavy, but actually it's a lovely surface. A little bit of wind, but both teams are really going out with an ambition to throw the ball away. There's
Isaac Hatch, who didn't start the semi-final, but has come back into the starting 15. His grandfather, the great Norman Hatch, played in the Methodist College team away back in 1967 that lost a rainy endowed team with Harry Stay in it. I had the great pleasure of touring Canada with Norman Hatch. What a great man he was, and still is. Taken on by David Nelson.
Leave it!
A miss through there by Ince at the line out when they had every chance of doing something productive. Wells with a kick. Again, the wind's hanging that up. Back in the Campbell side, but stolen by Ince, but knocked on by Ince. Alas for them.
I think we're getting a good example, Jim, of how strong these winds are, because you can see by how the ball's going. Those are really nice strikes by James Wells there, the box kicks, but they're getting to the top of the flight and they're just stalling in the wind, so it's making it really difficult for Ince ball catchers to get through the traffic and make a clean catch. So while they're not making much ground, it's great work by Campbell to sort of slow down the game a wee bit into this stiff breeze, but nice kicking at the minute by James Wells.
Now his dad Nicky is the current Methodist College coach, and his grandpa, the great Davy, was the Methodist College coach for many years, and what a successful coach he was. Wells decides to pass it, and Campbell decides to drive it. That's good work by big Charlie Best in the second row. And the penalty's been given away by Campbell, taken quickly by Ince. Could have done with a bit quicker support, but they've still got it. McLean gets it away. Ince go to ground. Sebastian Clark gets it away, well picked up by O'Connor. Very nearly through by Conor Patton. Lovely pass. Once again taken on by Reuben Gibson from Ince. This is better stuff by Ince. O'Connor. Wonderful little sidestep, and he's got great soft hands. Ball back in the inside. Play on, says the referee. Not a knock forward.
No, three.
Ronan Hamilton didn't play in the semi, but takes it forward. Here comes Ince again. Nice little flat pass. This is McLean. He's going to get in for a second. And what a difference that's going to make as we stare into the barrel of half time. Third try for RBAI in this final, and for the very first time in this final, Ince go ahead.
Yeah, fantastic team try by Ince, and Jim. It all started by a great turnover by Sebastian Clark, the scrum half. and instead of just waiting around, he took the quick tap, realised that this Ince team are playing really well under great pace, stretching the Campbell defence, and then you just see Charlie O'Connor, what he's so good at is coming around the corner, creating an extra man, taking it to the line, squaring up and putting players away, and then as they come back round, Conor Patton into first receiver, and that was another great line by Cian McLean for his second try of the day, and you can just feel Ince really tails are up here, and O'Connor with a nice chip kick conversion to come.
Well, the pass was absolutely perfect, and Campbell were just a wee bit too narrow, and Charlie O'Connor has done the honours, and he's added the points, and it's now Campbell 12 and Ince 19 as half-time approaches.
Yeah, Campbell will be very disappointed. They were doing really well, but as I said, a great turnover in defence by Ince, and it was that intensity and intent to attack and not just sort of kick the corner.
Jack Best. Well, they put that very high. There's a chance now for Ince to take it on, and they do take it on. And away goes Jack Coulter. Good support inside. Campbell have got men back in defence, but Ince on the front foot. If they go left, they must be in. Now they go left. That was an awful pass, but O'Connor still there. Wonderful wristy pass by O'Connor. Here they go again. Miller is there in support. Wonderful defending by Campbell, and that's going to be a penalty. Ince thought it was a try. They're asking for the try, but they've got the penalty. Now will they go for the line out? Pretty sure they will.
Yeah, I think so, Jim. The last maul they had was so strong. It's a great work by Ince. I think it was Jack Coulter again. The ball didn't go 10. Everybody stopped expecting the referee to come back for a scrum, but Coulter saw that there wasn't much in front of him, picked it up and just play on, obviously, as soon as it's played, and great work by Ince. You can just see their tails are up after taking the lead.
Yeah, it's as if they've flicked a little switch. Great rugby tradition at the school. They produce no fewer than 88 Irish internationals, more than any other school in Ireland, and 13 British and Irish Lions, including 2 captains, Sammy Walker of the 38 team in South Africa, and Robin Thompson, great Robin Thompson in 55. Didn't think of bringing on a scrum. Matthew Watkins was about to come on, but not yet. Looks like Adam Miller is now getting a bit of treatment, and somebody else is getting a bit of treatment as well.
Yeah, I think that's Cian McLean. He was maybe the one that was tipped in that tackle, Jim, just in the 5 metre line. Penalties give opportunity for Ince and Charlie O'Connor to try and drive them deep into 22. And this Ince team's so potent in attack that if they get too many more opportunities, there's no doubt that they'll get another score on the board.
Ince will feel that they might have got an extra metre or two out of that, but as it is, they're just inside the Campbell 22 with about 5 minutes to go to half time. Campbell 12, Ince 19. What a final we've had, as expected. The 2 best sides in the tournament by some distance. Campbell coming through against BRA Region House, and then Methody. Good take by Ince. It's gone to ground, so Ince will have to pick it up and drive forward, and they do just that. Good work by Ruben Gibson. Still there for Ince. Dylan, the busy skipper. And again, good work by Elliot McGowan helping. Getting ever closer. Lovely pass by O'Connor. That's nicely done. Here they come again.
Clear below.
Elliot McGowan takes
Release,
it on.
tackler.
Good defending by Campbell.
Leave it.
Campbell tackler told to release, and back from McGowan. Now it's O'Connor. He does pass the ball beautifully.
Run away 4.
Good work by Dylan. If Campbell turned that one over very nearly. He's still trying to. O'Connor. Nice flat pass. Well picked up. This is Jack Coulter, who's been busy. What a great semi-final. Clark again. Dylan, the captain. Abrasive. Holding on in the tackle, maybe rolling a little bit too much by Ross Dillon. Delight for the black and white supporters of Campbell.
Yeah, Jim, that's a great turnover by Conor McKinney. You just saw, as you said there, Ross Dillon, a really good carry. He spins out of his first contact, but then just unfortunately for him gets isolated, and McKinney just locks straight onto him once he's there. Unfortunately for Ince, they can't move him, so great defensive set by Campbell. And they'll be delighted to be getting here. We're 3.5 minutes to half time. They'll be looking at just sort of playing out the clock, potentially if they can win a penalty, maybe try and drive it down. But at this point, the key for them is getting into sheds at half time, as scoreline as it is.
Conor McKinney bidding to be the third generation of his family to lift the Schools Cup. His dad, Billy, was in the team that contained Gordon Hamilton some years ago, and way back in the mid-50s, his grandpa, also called Billy McKinney, he was a wonderful man, was on that cup-winning side. I think it was 54 or 55. 2 minutes to go to half-time. 7 points between them. Here's Nelson. Knocked backward, knocked forward. Dillon through quickly. Clark gets it away. Good work by Ince. Tight head prop Ruben McElrath, solid citizen. Away by Clark. O'Connor, nice and flat. Here comes Ince again. There's half a chance here. Adam Miller took it on himself. Clark is in quickly. Charlie O'Connor gets the ball away nicely, and it's gone loose, and chance for Campbell to counter-attack as Ince make a mess of it.
Leave it now, off feet, thank you.
Wells moves it wide. Number 8, Dante Noel Simmons helped to take it on. Wells again.
And roll yellow.
Charlie Best for Campbell. Here's a half chance. And so much left the door open. Campbell looking for the penalty. Best at scrum half. Nelson doing what he does best, taking it forward. Now it's the proper scrum half. Wells whips it away. This is good stuff by Campbell. Here they come again. They've got a lot of gas out wide, and most gas of all is rushed by Cooney Lobo. Wells, that's nicely done. Here's Isaac Hatch. Lovely kick by Isaac Hatch. Has he got the pace to get there? Not quite. And that's going to be a goal line dropout. Lovely attack by Campbell College. Nicely thought out and almost well finished.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, fantastic attack by Campbell. You just see how well today James Wells is playing. He's dictating everything with his box kicking, but also then he's threatening around the fringes, and his distribution's been lovely himself. And Jack Best linking up really well, creating the extra numbers, and good scramble defence by Ince. I think was it Elliot McGowan managed to get back and touch the ball down.
Charlie O'Connor gives it a bit of welly. It hasn't gone all that far. Gathered in by Campbell. Popped up to Noel Simmons, the number 8, back in the Campbell side. Little kick into a bit of space, but there's plenty of Ince men there. Are they going to try and counter from here? They might just be thinking about that, mind you. Referee has given the penalty for an illegal tackle.
Beyond horizontal, just a penalty.
Player was taken beyond the horizontal, according to referee Keane Davidson. Chance for Ince to get out of jail. Just a matter of 30 seconds to the interval. A good kick by Charlie O'Connor. Difficult breeze on that far side.
It is, Jim. It's a good clearance kick, and now Ince we're coming up into half time. They'll be looking at one more opportunity, whether or not they try and maul to try and win a penalty, or they go with one of the big strike plays that they think. Campbell have been caught narrow a couple of times. They also got broken up in the middle by Methley with the sort of holes all over the place in the midfield in the semi-final, so Ince will be fancying their chances.
Dillon throws.
Let's just sort out the numbers first, okay?
Tidied up well by Adam Boyd, but the initial throw wasn't wonderful. Dillon's throwing has been iffy-ish.
Right. We'll have it again. What numbers are we going, lads? 3 called. Loose not involved, the line out back 10. Your receiver 2 meters. Thank you.
Throw's going to be taken again because of a minor Campbell infringement. Now they take it quickly. Little chip and chase by Clark. That's all gone loose. Here's Noel Simmons. What an abrasive runner he is. He's made some 40 clever meters. Still here for Campbell. Nicely away. Quickly done. Ince defence is pretty good, but Wells gets it away. Now it's Best. Lovely passing. Here they come again. They've got this fast man outside. Cleverly done by the captain. This could go anywhere. Oh, it's been well gathered in. Chance now for Campbell to level things up at the interval when else looked as if they were going to clear it. Ince have just about managed to regroup. Back in the Campbell side. Hanging on after the tackle. a wee bit harsh, perhaps. I thought the ball was coming back, but the referee was right there.
He was, Jim, but that's a huge turnover by Rossdale, and it looked for all the money that Campbell were going to score. They've attacked so well. Instead, a great line out down the front. For some reason, they try to kick it through instead of just taking on the 2-on-1, and then the Campbell counter-attack. What a carry it was by Dante Knowles-Simmons, and then they just kept the ball alive. It looked for a second they were going to score, and now that's half-time.
Little tap from Charlie O'Connor, the inside side half, and kicks the ball dead. And now the referee was the man who gave away the penalty. And at schools rugby, they don't leave the field, they get into a wee huddle and the break for about 5 minutes. Not softies like these professional guys, are they? Go off and have a cup of tea and change your shirt and speak to your mummy on the phone. So there you are, what a first half. What do you think, Ian? Can Ince go on and win it?
I think it's been a fantastic first half. I would say that the way Campbell are playing, the way that they've managed the game through James Wells box kicking, I would imagine with the conditions, with this wind, they will try and just put Ince down in the corner, and I would imagine they'll be fancying themselves at this stage.
Thank you, Ian. Still anybody's cup final. It's Campbell College 12 and RBAI 19.
Great stuff, great advert, as we expected, as we hoped.
Absolutely class, isn't it? And you know, the conditions aren't exactly the easiest with the wind that's there, but the way that the boys have come out and played the game, what a start to the game. You know, they're actually coming at each other. They're actually looking to play some good brand of rugby. There's some great tries scored, scores in the forwards, scores in the backs. It's a credit to the coaching staff who've actually put this plans together.
We talked pre-match about coping with nerves, coping with the occasion. No sign of any nerves.
Absolutely not. You know, what was it in the first? We had about 2 tries within 3 minutes from both sides. It's a fantastic advert, like you said, and the way the two teams have come out there to play, what a start to the game there. Obviously, just moving the ball to the edge, and then the confidence from Wales there just to take the step on to score. It's a great start to the game.
Yes, that's a real settler, isn't it, for the young lads?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's great to see that, you know, that brand of rugby again. Probably now straight off this try, you can just sort of see the kick probably wasn't the best exit that they had, but the ability just to move the ball through hands, get the ball to an edge, and to get on the outside channel there for Adam Miller there to get a good touch, and then he's confident enough to run down a touchline to get a good score.
Yeah, it almost felt like because they both scored so quickly, that really did settle the game.
It did, and then straight off the back, you know, a couple of minutes later, you know, Campbell just get themselves back into the right areas of the pitch again. They have a big maul. It's something that they're going to use, and I think then when they get into those sort of areas, it was really important that they get that score. But then here you go straight off the bat again, Ince back into the game. Again, going back to their power play, getting in close around the touchlines again. I think the 10 there, Charlie O'Connor, just dictating the play was really important. But again, we get close to the line. They're strong in the pick and go game and stuff that they have in there. It's fantastic play, and then McLean going over for a good score.
And Ince really came into it as the half wore on. Was that conditions as much as anything else?
I think so. I think just playing on the right areas of the pitch, I think it is a really strong breeze out there, and playing territory games important. But I love this play. This is a good build-up play, the whole thing from Ince. They kept the ball for long periods of time. Great ball here from Connor Patton to put that man again, McLean, in, and a good pair of heels, get underneath the post, and that's a really important score at the time as well.
Yeah, high scoring, and I enjoyed that. Lovely celebration with the fans at the right end.
Yeah, well, you know, he's scoring in front of the Campbell guys there, so I'm sure it was really good for him to get that score. But look, the two teams are coming at each other. I think ultimately, whenever you look down at the scoreline, 19-12 as it is, the way the wind's going, Ince only 7 points up with the way the breeze. I'd expect Campbell maybe now to turn play a bit of a territory game, play down there, you know, best to get the opportunity through the left foot there to play in the right areas of the pitch to put a bit of pressure on, because it is difficult to play in these conditions into the wind.
Very different world, schoolboy rugby. No such thing as heading to the dressing room at half-time. What do you think is going to be said in those huddles?
Oh, look, you know, it's probably a good thing for them. They don't go in, they keep the atmosphere going. Although, be it, there's a lot of kids who went off there maybe to get some chips or something, you know, at half-time. But look, you can still see the atmosphere now. I think they've got to be really clear in the messaging now. Obviously, the way the game will be played now is two different things. Campbell will be talking about playing the right areas of the pitch, the territory game. You know, they have an easy opportunity that they can kick the ball long into the 22 and they can play in their areas. From an Ince point of view, they'll probably look to keep hold of the ball a little bit more, play to get their ball into the outside channels a little bit more with their backs, but they have a strong mauling team too. So look, it's going to be really interesting how the two teams approach the second half.
I think the fans deserve a special shout out. They've been brilliant so far either end. Yeah,
it's class, you know, like you said, now they're actually, you know, they've got their teams behind each other now, so Campbell will be attacking to their supporters, and the Ince guys will be attacking to theirs.
So it's cool, calm heads, is it, at this point? Is that the key for both sides?
I think it is at this point now. You know, it's the game's very much in the balance. The next score is really important for Ince. If they can get up here and get that score, just to put 2 scores between them, we put a wee bit of pressure on Campbell. But again, if Campbell can get a score, get themselves level, puts a bit of pressure on Ince. So it'll be really interesting how the second half kicks off here.
Who'd be feeling happier at this point, do you think?
I think Campbell. I think ultimately to be 7 points down there, you know, there's a real opportunity there near the end of the half. When Ince got close to the line there, they didn't quite get across the line in the corner. It was a big effort from Campbell to defend, and I think ultimately with the way the conditions are, the wind, but again, the two teams have proved that they can score on both ends, so it's hard to say really. Like,
yeah, cracking second half to come. We'll hand you back to Ian and Jim.
Just looking down, it looks as Jack Surplus wearing number 20 has come on for Ince. Campbell to get the second half underway, trailing by 7 points. That's a clever kick by Best. Oh, that's a very nasty kick by Best, and Ince struggled a wee bit just to contain that. All the pressure now coming from Campbell, looking for a quicker score in this half as they did in the first one. After just 2 minutes, James Wells got over from long range. Back to O'Connor, leans back and strikes it very nicely. That's a very good kick by O'Connor. Campbell thought about a quick throw, but changed their mind, sensibly enough.
Yeah, that's a fantastic clearance kick, Jim, by Charlie O'Connor. Not taken cleanly initially by Ince off the kickoff, and it looked like it was going to give Campbell the great opportunity, because we've seen how strong this wind is. But a good clearance. But now I would imagine Campbell go back to the maul that was so successful in the first half, or potentially maybe look at using Noel Simons in the midfield.
Nelson with his first throw of the second half. Plenty of options there. One of them, the big fella, number 5 in the middle, and he's taken it nicely. Charlie Best gets it away. Nice flat stuff. Here's the danger man, Dante Noel Simmons, sets it up for Campbell College, looking to strike immediately. Getting involved is Russ Allo by Lovo once again. Penalty against Campbell, that's unfortunate. Ince defending has been outstanding in this game.
It has, Jim. They've been great at the breakdown. They're really targeting a lot of those balls. I think that was Adam Boyd that time, managed to get his hands on it. Nice to see Campbell coming up with something different, using Russ Lovo there just to sort of be scrum half and then be there for the inside pop. But I think we're going to see Campbell probably, once they get an opportunity, try and just drive Ince back, force Ince to really work hard to get field position, not give away soft penalties.
That's another great kick by Charlie O'Connor.
It is, Jim. I think it's one of those ones that, with that wind going that way, the ball blowing just outside his foot, he'd get a good clearance and getting good strikes. Whereas in the other first half, whenever the wind was blowing inside, and he was hitting a wee bit of a draw. So two lovely clearance kicks in a row.
Ross Dillon. That wasn't straight, but it wasn't contested. So play on, says the ref. O'Connor whips it away. Ince up to the Campbell 10-metre line. Clark once again. O'Connor, that flat pass. That's nicely done. Here goes Miller. Well, they just about got a grip of him and no more. Otherwise, he would have been away. Little sortie on the narrow side from scrum half Sebastian Clark. Ruben McElrath goes in to help. Adam Boyd. Clark again. O'Connor. Good stuff by Ince. Not such good stuff by Ince. Away come Campbell. Rory Parks, who's not slow, the back row forward. Good covering tackle by Ince. Wells. Every time Campbell have the ball, there seem to be at least 2 Ince men on them. Now they're trying to move this one, looking for a gap in the Ince midfield, which there isn't at the moment. Best. Little pirouette. Wells. Running out of space. Best has to go into scrum half. That was Rannan Potter took it on for Campbell, the second row. Ince loose head. Ronan Hamilton goes in to be a nuisance. Campbell a wee bit upright going into the tackle, but they've kept the ball. Back to Wells. Not often to see Charlie O'Connor do that. Did he knock it forward? Referee says he did. Well, that was a rare error by O'Connor.
It was, Jim, and I think it'd be very frustrating for Ince because the kick again a little bit too long. But the interesting thing was, and whenever you play with a strong wind, your mindset can be, let's just get down there. And had Campbell looked up a couple of times, they had a big overlap on the left. They had a great turnover. I think potentially it was by Rory Parks, and he made a great break. And if Campbell could just have looked up after that next ruck, they had an opportunity to go again. But instantly frustrated that it's just letting those balls bounce, so small mistakes giving Campbell opportunities. But Campbell now really will be looking to try and get this score on the board, get the scores equal or get in the lead, and then they can use that win to really drive Ince back.
Ince had Ronan Hamilton, who's won a Medallion Shield tournament on a second 15 tournament with Ince. It's his first year on the first 15. Didn't start the semi-final, but drafted in because of his better scrummaging, methinks. He'd have to scrummage a wee bit here, and the last thing a prop forward needs is a sore shoulder going into a scrum at any level. With the ball in hand, James Wells. Haven't seen too much of brother Harry out on the right wing. Maybe that's about to change. Best whips it away to the Campbell skipper. Oh, here they go again. This is a wonderful run, and just as we spoke, it's over in the corner for Harry Wells. We hadn't seen too much of him, but what we have seen shows what a classy act he is, and what a wonderful pass that was by his opposite winger. That was the simplest of tries, executed quite perfectly.
Yeah, Jim, a complete carbon copy of the try that they scored in the semi-final when they went from right to left, and it was Harry Wells himself that scored that wonder try in the semi-final. So fantastic work. Russ Lobo working off the left wing, creating that extra man. And Harry Wells then finished after being down in the pitch for 5 minutes, looking like he had a bit of an injury maybe with his groin. But great strike play by Campbell, showing the danger of that back line. And it just, we talked about work right off the wings and pace kills. So great work by Campbell to get the score, and a big kick coming up now for Jack Best.
Just to tie the scores. He's hit that well. That's a very good kick by Jack Best, and Dad Simon and Mum Katie, who are not out here today, and Uncle Rory will be pretty chuffed with that one. Wow, what a game we have.
Yeah, Jim, that was a fantastic strike. That's where he was warming up, and he was getting used to the wind, but he's hitting them all so well today, and not an easy kick at all. So massive kick to get it to 19 all, and now pressure on Ince to make sure now that they can get another score in the second half.
Having worked so hard to go ahead, Ince couldn't defend that lead. Taken on the far side by Campbell's busy hooker David Nelson. Needs to release the ball. Wells gets it away. Isaac Hatch out in the middle of the field on his own, signalling for people to come infield a little bit. This is Wells yet again. That's another teaser. That's a good take by Ince fullback Jonah Power. And he set it up well. Sebastian Clark. Ince shunting forward. Tight head Ruben McElrath with the ball. O'Connor. Lovely little pass, nearly away, up to halfway. Clark again. O'Connor, that's better by Ince. Down the line nicely. An awkward bounce for Campbell, but they've got plenty of men back. One of them Jack Best. And Jack Best has found a very good clearing touch.
Yeah, fantastic clearance kick there. And Ince did really well to find an edge, and it's one of those ones, Jim, when you're playing into the wind, you maybe don't want to kick the ball away too much, because it then gives an easy enough clearance kick back, and these meters are hard to gain. So Ince showing some really nice shapes. They're doing well when they're kind of attacking the line and taking the direct option. So they just need to make sure they can keep working up this pitch, because one mistake gives an easy opportunity then for Campbell to clear it.
Cian McLean in the Wars Ever Society. What a weekend it's been for rugby. Ulster and Edinburgh on Friday night, Ireland on Saturday. England very nearly doing Ireland a favour. Then the Ireland under-20s getting the under-20 triple crown and finishing runner-up in their championship. And now this one of the best Schools Cup finals we've seen for ages.
It's been fantastic, Jim. And I think what we're seeing a wee bit is the game's going away again from all the kicking. There's been a lot of really nice rugby played, both in the international games for the club games. We've seen also this year with Mark Sexton, how they're moving the ball around. They're finding that nice balance of kicking but also attacking. Ireland obviously doing the same with Balakoon's try. The 20s, as you said, the 20s were fantastic on Sunday afternoon, and then we've seen some scintillating rugby this afternoon as well. So it's been a really, really positive weekend for rugby fans in general. And we look at the crowd around here. This grandstand's pretty much full in front of us. Both ends have got the schools, and it's just hopefully rugby in Ulster is thriving.
And Gavin was talking earlier to James Hume and of course Tom O'Toole, who switched from tight head to loose head and had a couple of terrific Six Nations games, his first 2 Six Nations starts.
Fantastic work by Tom. I mean, he's flirted with the idea before. Remember, they were chatting, was it in South Africa a couple of years ago, they were thinking about it, but he did so well in the Six Nations there. It'll be something for Ulster and Ireland to consider.
Good take at the line out by Ince. A chance down that narrow side, and away they go. This is good stuff by the boys in black and yellow. Made a decent bit of ground. Did the ball come off the Campbell tackler? I think it did. So Ince have got the line out. The wind is really picking up, and you can see the touch judge's flag on that far side, the main grandstand side. Just over 3 minutes played, and Campbell with their third try, which was converted to make it 19 apiece. It's Tom O'Toole, be-whiskered Tom O'Toole in the middle of all that. Jude Postlewaite not too far away from him. A lot of the Ulster players there enjoying this game. Good line out throw, good take. Here they come again. Oh, all the way through is Conor Patton. Well tackled by Campbell, but still there for Ince. Adam Boyd drives forward, hugely strong. He's got a release, and he has released. Clark gets away. O'Connor's pass is flat, looking for a hat trick as Cian McLean. Clark again gets it away. Charlie O'Connor sells a nice little dummy. That's well positioned by O'Connor. Good chance by Miller. Away they go. Surely they're going to get in. Into touch. Has the flag gone up? No, it hasn't. How did Ince keep that in? Well, they've pushed the Campbell boy who had the ball into touch, and it's a replacement hooker for Campbell, Dylan Armstrong, who's come on, and he was bundled into touch to give Ince the line out. I thought that was going to be a try there with for Dylan Gray for Ince.
Yeah, Jim, that was fantastic defence by Harry Wells. Not only can finish, that's a great defence. It looked like Ince for all money were going in, but just a couple of passes in the inside shoulder slowed down momentum, and great scramble defence, and Campbell getting away. But Ince another chance now, because it was great work by the Ince winger to throw the ball back and play and not die with it.
Most important line out of the game so far. Ince skipper Ross Dillon. Did he do a double throw? Did he do a dummy? Yes, he did. He's crossed with himself, but he's the only one who was in control of what he was doing. And he's getting, look at that. You're not allowed to do that. You have to throw once, and that's it.
Yeah, frustrating one for Ince, considering it wasn't even contested. So one of the ones, just a little bit of timing, a bit of communication error, and great awareness by Adam Boyd to get the charge down from the free kick.
Nelson goes to ground, and Campbell get the penalty, and they'll be mighty relieved to be able to relieve the situation.
Yeah, Campbell getting away with one there, Jim. Adam Boyd showing really good awareness that from a free kick you're obviously allowed to charge, whereas the penalty you can't. So he put Jack Best under big pressure, got the charge down, and just unfortunately for Ince, one of their defenders a little bit too keen to make an impact, came in the side, and the referee hot on that, gave the penalty away. So Campbell with an opportunity now to try and retain the line out and clear the ball a little bit further down the pitch.
The replacement hooker Dylan Armstrong is on, but David Nelson is still on the field, which means that one of them is going to have to play in the prop forward position should there be a scrum. Energetic stuff by Elliot McGowan trying to get over. Wells with the kick as he kept that in the field. He has, that's a belter. But well taken by Jonah Power. Goes to ground on halfway. Ince have a lot to do. Chance on this narrow side. Elliot McGowan makes a bit of ground. High tackle by Campbell. Ince get the chance for another penalty, and a little bit of nonsense breaks out involving Leo Graham. Or maybe it was Harry Wells, never mind.
Yeah, there's a little bit of needle in the game, Jim, and a little bit of rivalry. Two big Belfast schools, obviously, but I think that was a little bit unfortunate for the Campbell defender there. But now you're giving Ince the opportunity to really try and drive up. And with this win, they've done well Ince to sort of find field position a few times. They're attacking this blind side where they feel they're obviously a little bit of weakness. So it's just now what can they do? What strike play can they bring in? Last time they had a good scrum, they had a great break by Conor Patton. Couldn't quite finish it.
Yeah, the line-out's been somewhat problematical for Ince, but the wind isn't helping, so you've got to get this absolutely spot on, and they did. That's much better. Now Ross Dillon came round, the man who threw it in has got it tucked in at the back. A little bit of help from number 20, Jack Surplus, as Ince move forward and move infield. Campbell digging in. Now Ince will have to play it. Away they go. Miller goes in to be a wing forward. This is Adam Boyd, big and strong, and great low undercarriage. Miller, that's nicely done. O'Connor got it away just about. Was it forward? Doesn't matter, it's forward now. And there's a penalty, I think, against Campbell in the middle of the field for offside. Might have gone against Isaac Hatch.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he was just obviously aware that the referee had called use, and he tried to jump the gun a little bit from whenever Ince were going to bring it in. So penalty straight in front. It'll be interesting to see if they go for the points here just to try and take the lead again, or if they decide to go to the corner. In a cup final, you'd imagine they'll go points just to try and keep the scoreboard chipping.
Yeah, there are no bonus points. Bonus points for 4 tries or more. It's all about getting across that final line with your nose in front. And here's a chance for Ince to go ahead. This is the first penalty attempted goal in this game. We played almost 10 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, big moment, Jim, for Ince to try and get this opportunity. Not easy. Nearly 15 minutes gone now in the second half, and this would be a big bit, because after Campbell equalised, they would imagine they would have thought they were fancying the chances. So chance for Ince to go ahead again.
Well, it looks straightforward from up here. Down there, it's a different matter. Charlie O'Connor, is he the coolest boy at Ravenhill? Yes, he is. Got right underneath it, popped it up in the air. 3 more points to Ince. So it's Campbell 19 and Ince 22, and you would not like to bet on who's going to win this one, Ian Humphreys.
No, you wouldn't at all, Jim. And the key for Ince is to clear their lines well from this kickoff. They've struggled in receipts so far.
That has just about gone the 10 metres. Well taken in. Play on, says the referee. That was the crowd don't like that, particularly the Estonian members of the crowd. The referee was going to let that go. Now he can't have another look at it because there's nothing to look at it on. We'll just have a look at it here. Well, did the Campbell player do anything? He actually made it back, and the Ince player tumbled over his back. There was no real contact, and the referee, I think, has made quite a good decision. There was no malice in that whatsoever. It was a little bit clumsy, but
yeah, I think you're right.
No bad intent.
Potentially a rugby incident. It's just one of those ones where there's a duty of care for the arriving player, but I think that's where the wind causes so much havoc that players are having to adjust last minute about where it's going to land. So fortunately no major injury, and the referee's done the right thing of starting with the scrum.
So a change in the second row with Jack Surplus on instead of Conor Ballantyne. Referee not happy with the scrum. Number 17 Ince Loosehead replacement Matthew Watkins is on.
Adam Boyd standing in midfield for Ince, Jim, whether he's a decoy to go wide or whether he's going to be used to truck it up and get over the gain line. Interesting wrinkle whenever scrums aren't as important in schoolboy rugby as it is in professional.
Campbell pipe band playing a fine tune. Here they come again. This is Boyd, and he's done just that. Still inside his own half. Now he's over the halfway line. An extra little thrust forward, well taken by O'Connor. Lovely wide pass. This is good stuff from Ince. Here comes Dylan Gray, who's not slow, still going. Picked up and dumped down by Campbell, who get the penalty. And it's Campbell's turn to defend. And this fella, Russ Allo by Cooney Lobo, is some player.
He's been fantastic today, Jim, both in attack and defence. That's his second or third big tackle. A massive turnover, because great carry by Adam Boyd in midfield. We saw the lovely pass of O'Connor into the wide channel, and it looked like Ince were getting over the gain line, but bit of a flip tackle, we got maybe lucky to get away with, but straight onto the ball and very strong in the poach position.
Lobo's grandpa, incidentally, Tom Lobo, was a Fijian international. Dylan Armstrong with the throw for Campbell. I guess Conor McKinney has left the field, so haven't had a scrum yet to see who's going to go into tight head. Rory Adair, number 19, is on for Campbell. He's a big unit too. Here comes Montgomery. Stolen by Ince, well done by McLean. Somebody needs to claim that, and they do. Nicely set up by Ince, who lost about 30 metres. Can they get it back to O'Connor to clear? Clark's going to do it himself. That's hanging nicely in the wind. Well taken by another Campbell replacement. Zach Thompson is on.
Yeah, great work there by Ince. That was a fantastic box kick by Sebastian Clark. It just hung up in the air perfectly. It was a nice take by Campbell, and because they moved off the mark, Ince were able to hold him up and get the turnover maul. Ordinarily, if it comes from a kick, potentially Ince fortunate enough to get that scrum. When it comes from a kick, a maul, it usually goes with the team that's receiving the kick, but the referee obviously believes he came off the mark before he caught it, which gives now Ince another attacking opportunity here to see whether they run the wraparound plays that they love so much with Charlie O'Connor.
Keelan Doyle-Dolan has moved over from the loose head to the tight head side. That's an Ince put in with the ball, Sebastian Clark. Solid scrum, away by Clark. Here's O'Connor. O'Connor puts the foot on the gas, gets across the halfway line. Just an arrow-like precision by O'Connor. The ball is back in the inside. Connor Patton was taking it on. O'Connor slipped away from the tackle, needs a bit of help and gets it. Clark again, he's been good this afternoon. And still inside their own half, but not by much. Away they go again. This is better. Patton slipped. Clark. Outrageous dummy by Ruben Gibson. It's now down to tactics. Ince will be happy just to hang on to this lead if they can, but they'll want a bit more. Ball knocked backwards by Ince, scooped up by Campbell. Nicely done by the boys in black. Back to James Wells. Well covered by Ince, by Conor Patton. It's all got very attritional. Squeezed back by Ince. O'Connor back in his position. This is good stuff. But Campbell up quickly. Ince trying to present the ball for the scrum half. Zach Service is there. O'Connor has it charged down. This could be dangerous. O'Connor has to go back. Did he knock it forward? That very nearly was another Campbell score, courtesy of Charlie O'Connor, who just for a moment lost his concentration. Ince have managed to recover, and they still keep ahead. Adam Boyd has to go to ground. That's all it takes. One mistake and the cup final could be decided. And away by Campbell, or by Ince I should say. Hasn't found touch best. Good tackle by Ince. And they've stolen the ball. No, they haven't. Knocked it forward, and the Campbell get the scrum. What a game this is.
Yeah, Jim, that's a long series of plays. I think Ince had a couple of good chances. They had a nice break off the scrum, and then just multi-phase, and then there was a couple of times they got the ball there, and there was a huge overlap if they could just get it away, but unfortunately the ball didn't come out for them, and Campbell recognised it and got the width and scramble defence. Again, you can just see how much pressure Ince are under whenever they're trying to get their clearance kicks away, but At the minute they've got the 3-point lead. They just need to keep holding out for another 14 minutes. But I think at the minute it just feels like Campbell are just getting ahead. They're using the power game. They're doing well defensively. However, they are showing that there are gaps if Ince can find a little bit of space. They got burnt a few times in the semi-final up the middle. It feels like they're defending a little bit tighter than they had done. Obviously, they've got Isaac Hatch back in there, maybe solidify it a little bit middle, but the spaces are out wide if Ince can get through the phases. Whereas whenever the ball comes in the counter-attack, Campbell look really dangerous. Lots of pace in the back three, and well organised by Wells and Best at half-back.
Oh, seems to be well in the Ince cap. Remember, number 22 is Dylan Gray. 23 is maybe a big drum's getting beaten.
I think that's Sebastian Clark, the scrum half down, getting a bit of treatment, Jim. And
I think he's up. I think he's fine.
He's been excellent today, so Ince won't want to lose him here as well. So between himself and O'Connor, they're going to have to find a way to get down the other end of the pitch just to take the pressure off.
Well, they'll have the very useful Rocco Steen as replacement scrum half, but he's not on yet because Sebastian Clark has decided to stay on. And here's his opposite number, James Wells, who's had a terrific game, starting with the opening try in this final. Good squeeze by Ince. Wells switches direction. Trying to put a bit of width on it. That's nicely done. And here is the danger man, Lobo. And he's still going, and he's made of steel as well. Good work by Rowan Potter for Campbell College. It's defending strongly. Ball back in the Campbell side. Best once again. There's the captain. Gets it wide. And into touch. Good effort on the near side, mind you, by Zach Thompson. But good defending by Ince and by Dylan Gray.
Yeah, Ince doing really well there, Jim. It looked for a split second at Campbell, a bit of an overlap, but lovely defence and an easy scramble into touch. So Campbell will be disappointed that Dylan Gray was able to knock the attacker into touch quite comfortably. So Ince again surviving another bit of Campbell pressure.
Big line out this. Oh, that's awful. Here comes Campbell once again. Replacement hookers going forward. Dylan Armstrong only 2 or 3 meters away. And the drive for the line, and surely they must get over. Has he been held up, the number 8, Dante Noel Simmons? And he has been held up. And how did Ince keep that man out?
Great scramble defence. I think coming up at the end there is Connor Davis, seemed to be the guy under for all the money. When Noel Simmons is that close, you were expecting to go over the line, but good defence by Ince, there, just to hold him up, and now again another escape. But at the minute it just feels that Campbell have all the momentum, and can Ince do something just to get up the other end of the pitch?
O'Connor mustn't kick it directly into touch, but that's well done and well gathered in by Ince. Now they want to try to set this up to allow O'Connor a pressure-free kick, and Ince get the penalty, so that won't matter. That's good defending yet again by Ince. Yeah,
fantastic. And I think into the wind, O'Connor puts a nice high kick up, and Ince did very well to regather the drop out, and just a soft enough penalty given away by Campbell. And whenever you're playing with the conditions at Campbell, you can't afford to give Ince penalties that allow them just to inch their way up the pitch. It runs down the clock and it runs down the meters, and now you would imagine Ince will just slowly come to line out, Jim, and then just start trying to take their time and plod their way up the pitch.
Almost an hour played. Ross Dillon in, skipper. Taken quickly and cleverly. Rocco Steen is on at scrum half for Ince. As Connor Patton tries to make a bit of ground up the middle. Adam Boyd is in there. And behind him is Reuben Gibson. Now here come Ince again. Double try score in the first half. Cian McLean makes a bit of ground. Steen, what a kick. That is a beater. Well taken though by Thompson for Campbell College. That was a great strike by Rocco Steen, who's Grandpa captain the Ince first 15 many years ago. A gentleman called John McGrath was a fine centre three-quarter and a great squash and tennis player. There's a clever little kick through. Was that a bit of obstruction? Well taken by Ince. But they're back inside their 10-metre line, and all the pressure now coming from Campbell, who seemed to have been rejuvenated. Charlie O'Connor with the kick. Gathered in by Leo Graham, the Campbell fullback. Finds a bit of space. O'Connor's drifted back nicely and calls for and is awarded the fair catcher, the mark in the old days.
Yeah, that was a lovely kick through there by Jack Best, and a brilliant pickup by Jonah Power. When the ball's bubbling along like that, it's not easy. Took it well and managed to evade the first tackle. So opportunity now just for Ince again. Slow it down. Good clearance kick, but again, Ince just cannot get out of their half, Jim. It just feels like it's a matter of time before Campbell really break through, and it just can Ince hold out for another 10 minutes, or will Campbell get the score?
Well, a hugely poignant day this for everybody involved with rugby at Campbell College, and a nice little tribute at the beginning of the game in memory of the late and the very great John McKinney, so much Campbell's go-to coach for a long time. Good line out take by Campbell, but not straight, and Ince challenged it, so that means Ince will get the scrummage.
Yeah, I think both sides have struggled a little bit with this wind, and by Ince putting up the competition, it means they're going to get the bonus from the referee, and smartly for them, they took that quick one at the front in the last line out they had. So opportunity now for Ince. What play did they do? They've used Adam Boyd the last time to truck it up with the wing of Connor Patton starting behind the scrum. Will he use him now as a decoy and try and use O'Connor out the back, or will they just use the sort of gain line of Adam Boyd in midfield?
Well, they've got him in the midfield again. Rocco Steen with the put in. Good strike. Steen gets it away. Nice little dummy. Steen thought about going the far side, changed his mind. Aggressive stuff from McLean. Referee seems to have got the hand out for a penalty against Campbell. Charlie O'Connor's kick is well blocked, and they will go back for the penalty against Campbell College. A high tackle, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it was given for. Didn't actually notice it live, so referee saying whether or not it was on the initial carry, I'm not sure, but here it is here on McLean.
Head on head.
Yeah, he just has to drop his height, but a little bit unfortunate now. Just again, with 7 minutes to go, it's just.
It was Aaron Lowy, the culprit, into touch by Ince. First time they've been in their opposition half for quite some time. In
it is, and I think this is key now from a Campbell point of view, that they get somebody up in this line out to compete. Don't allow the cheap, easy option at the front. Make sure that, I think it's David Nelson stand there, make sure he's aware of that fast one, but then they have to get somebody in the air in case it isn't straight, because with this wind it is not easy.
A look of concentration on the face of the Ince skipper and line out thrower Ross Dillon. Oh, that has gone awry as well, and on take it Campbell. That was Dylan Armstrong, and the clever kick by Best. Where's that going to go? Is it going to bounce? It might well roll dead. No, it's not. Touchdown, and that's going to be a goal line dropout. But Campbell have got Ince where they want them, and that's back in their own line.
Yeah, Jim, that's not the worst outcome for Campbell. Obviously, what they need to make sure is Ince don't regather this like they did the last time. So be aware, there's a big space. This isn't going to get near halfway, so everybody can squeeze up another 10 metres, whereas O'Connor's going to hit this towards the 22, and he'll be fortunate to make it into that wind. So clock slowing down here, an injury to Elliot McGowan, just running down, sort of taking the pace out of the game a little bit, but Campbell just need to regroup, get the ball back here, and then just decide how they're going to try and work their way up to the try line.
Elliot McGowan, one of a reasonable clutch of Ince boys, who'll be back next year. He's in lower 6, played for also schools at under 18 level. Big unit going back to underneath the post where Charlie O'Connor waits to try to clear. This might hang and allow somebody to chase it. Well, that's not too far. That was well taken in by Leo Graham, who gets himself caught by replacement prop Matthew Watkins, who's a very mobile prop forward. Taken on by Dante Noah Simmons for Campbell, their number 8. And away they come again. Nelson tries to make a bit of ground. Helped to the ground by Adam Miller. Campbell on the far side. There's the man with the speedy boots, Lovo, sets it up nicely. Brought away by Wells. Still moving forward, Campbell. This is better from the boys in black. That's a nice little bit of a sidestep. Here come Campbell. Surely they'll get something out of this. Ince falling off tackles. It's Montgomery looking for the one that'll put Campbell ahead once again, and might just seal the fate of this cup. Lovo brought to the ground. They've kept an eye on him, but he's released the ball. Nice quick stuff, and once again it's Nelson doubling up as a prop forward, the starting hooker. And the man who's taken over the hooking mantle, he takes it on to Dylan Armstrong. Back in the Campbell side, they drive for the line, surely 5 meters to go. Ince get a man in there and holding on in the tackle. The tackle was made. Ince had a jackler in there to hold on to the ball, but Campbell got themselves penalised, and once again the Ince defence has done them proud.
Yeah, Jim, they've been fantastic at getting 2 men over the ball each time. That was Cian McLean, and I didn't catch who the other defender was. Potentially Matthew Watkins. It just got over the ball, and again it looked like Campbell were gone. James Wells has looked really dangerous around the fringes. He's attacked well, he's sniped well. His passing's been really crisp, and it just looked for a second that was it Dylan Armstrong was going to sort of make a bust. He's been fantastic since he's got on the pitch. He's looked a real threat around the park, and I thought he was going to go the length, but a great cover tackle by Ince stopped that, and then a lovely turnover by Cian McLean.
Well, that needed to be won by Ince, and it was, and Ross Dillon has it. He's going to leave it for Rocco Steen, who no doubt will kick. Horrible hanging ball, well taken in by Campbell. Chance now for the East Belfast side to put this game to bed. Taken on by Armstrong, who's been so busy this afternoon. Best gets her away. Nice stuff with an overlap there. Tap forward. Charged down by Ince. Ince would have loved the referee to say play on, but no, they'll come back for the initial offence, and that was a forward pass. Well, fine margins, Ian, fine margins.
It has been, Jim, and it was great defence by the by the Ince backs. Campbell had a big overlap, but what they did is they didn't overcommit, they didn't shoot the line, they sat off until they had inside cover defence, and then they shot at the right time when their numbers on, forcing the forward pass. And it would have been interesting how it played on, because while Lovo looked like he was going to go, he chipped the ball through, and Ince managed to charge it down and potentially could have gone the length, but Ince again getting away with it. And another 3 minutes to go, Jim. What will they do here again?
3 minutes to go, 3 points between them. Campbell 19, Ince 22. One more score would settle it. Here goes a man who's already got a Schools Cup winning medal from 2 years ago, Adam Boyd. Charlie O'Connor, lovely pass by O'Connor. That maybe should have been given, but in goes Adam Miller like a little flank forward. Set up by Rocco Steen. O'Connor once again. Lovely pass by O'Connor, not well gathered. Armstrong, last chance for Campbell perhaps. They need to make something out of this. In goes Wells. Ince go for the intercept, that's gone wide. Great chance if they give this to the speedy man. Here he goes. Well, he's well tackled, but he's down and up again. Made of India rubber. Good stuff. Taken on by Rory Parks. Wells on the narrow side. Ince try to get them into touch, and they do just that. Ince defence holds out. 2 minutes remaining. Can Ince hang on to this 3-point lead and take the cup home once again?
Yeah, that was again Campbell. Will be a little bit disappointed they didn't get a chance to really get Lovo away in that outside channel early, but a lovely bit of scramble defence by Ince, and I think all day they've scrambled well. They're just forcing the pass a little bit in attack Ince when they've got it, and we've just seen how dangerous Campbell are. Again, Dylan Armstrong looking really dynamic when he gets ball in hand, and then the back line of Campbell very threatening, but Ince have done very well not to shoot the line or go out defending on ones and twos, trying to go as a hero shot. They defended really well as a unit and managed to hold out.
Well, the Ince fans away to our left are celebrating already, but there's many a slip, as we know. And it was just 3 years ago when Adam Boyd's older brother Jacob took a pass from Bryn Ward and careered over the line against Campbell to break Campbell hearts and give Ince the cup. Campbell will need to do something similar here. It's an Ince line out, and it hasn't been a great source of clean possession all day, so Ross Dillon will have to make sure of this one. He's got plenty of options. He might go for McLean at the front. Oh, that's been knocked back on the Campbell side. What a calamity for Ince. Good driving forward by Campbell's number 8, Noel Simmons. And again, Campbell getting ever closer. 15 metres from the line. Nelson, who got a first half try, trying to get another one. Wells gets it away. driving forwards. Campbell's number 4, Rannan Potter. Big fella back inside to Lobo. Well taken down, but he wriggles, and as he released the ball, yes he has. Campbell replacement, Adams taking it on. Here come Campbell again. Surely now they're going to clinch this cup as Ince did 3 years ago. Can they get across the line? Good pick up and drive by Keelan Dolan. Here come Campbell yet again. One more little thrust. In goes Leo Graham. Lobo was waiting on the near side. They bring it to the open side. Dreadfully strong tackling by Ince. Back to Campbell. Nelson has another go himself. Well defended by Ince. What a finish this is, and what a cup final it's been. What a weekend of rugby union football. Now down to the school's final, and can Campbell get across the line? Referee's well positioned. Can Ince keep them out just one more time? 20 seconds or so to go. Last throw of the dice for Campbell College. Are they going to celebrate the memory of John McKinney? I think they might. You know, they're very close, but they haven't got it across the line, and that's all that matters. Nelson drives once again. He's very close, even closer if possible. Here go Campbell once again. Surely they've got it. No, they haven't, says the referee. And again, Ince keep them out. I don't know how they're doing this. Here they go. Campbell yet again. Surely that's it. Yes, it is. Try has been scored, and Campbell have stolen the cup right at the very death. All the pressure came, and it's Nelson with his second. Well, at Campbell College, they'll be erecting a Nelson's column to this fella. It was so close, 2 or 3 Campbellians very nearly got over. Nelson took his time. One little stretch, he was stopped, he's allowed to make one movement, and he did just that. And the conversion has been taken, and Best has landed the conversion, and Campbell have won the cup. Their 45th final for Campbell College and their 25th win, and Ince will be absolutely devastated. They thought they had it done and dusted with Charlie O'Connor's penalty goal, but Campbell came back and did the school and the memory of John McKinney proud.
Yeah, fantastic game today, Jim. What a match, what a performance by everybody involved. I think you just have to credit to both sides for trying to play such an attacking brand. Second half, Campbell probably deserved it. A couple of opportunities that Ince scramble defence just managed to save them, but just too much pressure. And Campbell, fair play, completely ruthless at the end. That picking and going. David Nelson getting his second try. All well marshalled the whole way through the game by James Wells and Jack Best. So fantastic win for Campbell. But what a game, what a spectacle, and a really enjoyable match for us to watch.
Both sides struggled with the problem of the win, but in the end it was Campbell and Campbell's determination and the sheer organisation. And Richie McMaster will be delighted with this. His first Tools Cup final as Campbell coach and his first victory.
Yeah, fantastic. I think you can see Richie was a great out half himself. You can just see that he had his halfbacks well tuned up to how to move the team around, not to panic. You see they're 9 and 10. They have that calm authority that they had, that Richie himself had. So really well organised, really good attacking shapes, and they just looked dangerous, Jim. And I think a special mention to Dylan Armstrong, the sub hooker who came on. I thought he was fantastic. He got a couple of overthrows that he made good yardage with, and I thought he really helped Campbell with a big impact off the bench.
We didn't even go for a man of the match. Who was your man of the match?
I think
player of the match.
I think today player of the match. There's a lot of good players who perform well, but I think it has to go to James Wells. For that first half, his box kicking into the wind, he just kept trying to push Ince back. And second half, his distribution, his attacking around the fringes, I thought he was a real threat and a real danger. So probably James Wells with a special mention to also to Russ Lovo as well.
Thank you, Ian, as always. What a game, what a finish, what a scoreline. Campbell College 26, RBAI 22. Back to Gavin.
It is, isn't it? Like you feel the heartbreak there for the Ince boys. You know, the effort they put in from the way they defended there, they defended gallantly. Actually, I thought they played the conditions really well because it's such a strong breeze out here. You kind of felt at half time that it was maybe they didn't have enough points in front of it. And to get themselves ahead with that penalty, to get themselves 3 up, and they were defending gallantly over and over. But you got to give credit there to Campbell. They've got themselves into the right areas of the pitch. They kind of butchered a couple beforehand, but you know, just to show that kind of tenacity to keep going right at the death. And they were clinical when they got close to the line there, just to keep going and just to, you know, have no mistakes at that point. Just shows how well drilled the two teams were. And full credit to Campbell, but again, you feel for the Ince lads there.
And for all the talk of the nerveless first half, it was an edgy second half.
It was, and I suppose that's just what a cup final is. You know, they turned up there, they threw everything at each other in the first half, and I suppose just in the second half, it's a little bit more about, right, now you can actually see the finish line, and it's about trying to get across there. And I actually thought the way Ince approached the game was really good. Whenever they got opportunities, especially in the first 10 minutes of the second half, they played a lot in Campbell's area, and they were able to just kind of hold on to the lead, but a little bit just at the end there, maybe trying to force the play that actually got the turnover, which gave Campbell an opportunity to move the ball wide, and they got in close around that area, and fair play to them to get that score.
And what a way to win it.
Absolutely, what a way to win it. You know, like, the credit to them. You know, again, Campbell have always had a good forward pack, strong up front, but they were able to move the ball to the edge there, and to have someone like Russ Lovo on the wing there to carry the ball, to put in the performance that he did, just give them in the right areas of the pitch, and fair play to them.
And this is always the story from a Schools Cup. One side elated, the other side, well, it's as low as it feels as a schoolboy.
It is. It's difficult, isn't it? It's hard to describe probably what those lads are feeling right now. You can see a lot of lads, Hugs in there, probably played, well, they have, some of them will have played their last ever game for their school, but they can be rightly proud of what they've done. You know, when you look at it, they play in front of, you know, what is it, about 8,000 people here. The crowd's going in front of their school. They've done themselves proud, and you know, fair play to them all.
We talked again about the standard of rugby. It seems to improve at schools level every year.
It is, and it's great to see, because this is right, you know, this is the showpiece, obviously. The way the game started, the tries that were being scored, between backs were scoring tries, forwards were scoring tries, but the clinicalness around what they were doing, and you know, even at the end there, you're kind of seeing what pressure rugby is, and that's why I'm super impressed with the way the whole game's been played throughout the, you know, I've been very fortunate to see schoolboy rugby throughout the year, working with Belfast Royal Academy, like I said, and the standard they played, and that as a showpiece is great.
That's Russ Lovo, player of the match. What a performance he put in.
Fantastic, you know, player there whenever he gets a bit of space, has a good step on him, he's a strong carrier. Obviously it was a targeted area that Campbell wanted to get him as many touches as he possibly can, and he was carrying the ball brilliantly. But again, he's just one player in the cog. You know, I think right across the board there's numerous players there who stood up and were counted for both teams.
Did it feel like one of those all-time Schools Cup finals, just with the nature of the second half and the way it all finished up?
Yeah, it was, and you know, it was great because we had the showpiece of them scoring tries in the first half, and then you kind of seen like a nitty-gritty performance from both teams there. Even I was standing there getting nervous at the end, like it was like, what way is it going to go? And you're kind of looking to the referee, is he going to make a decision in there? But fair play, it didn't come down to that actually. It came down to two teams going at each other, and probably the two right schools have been in the final.
Yeah, well, Ince played their part in a spectacular final. Probably only fitting that Jim Neely should talk them through this one.
Well, Vicky Davis, the CEO of Danske Bank, giving the boys from RBAI their runners-up trophies. They'll be very disappointed that it wasn't the full Monty, but they were so very, very close, and they probably know that one little error was going to let Campbell in, and Campbell, to the great credit, never gave up. So quite a number of the Ince guys will be leaving, and but quite a few will be back. Next year. I can see Simon Best in the background there. I can also see Gavin Robinson, MP, in the background as well, and capping enthusiastically in this, her last Schools Cup final, as principal of RBAI. Just to the left of Paul Hart, the Ulster Branch president, is Janet Williamson, who's been a terrific principal of RBAI, and on her right hand side is the chairman of the governors, Michael Howard. And up come the Campbell boys. Isaac Hash is up first. Jack Best is in there. Rory Parks had a wonderful game. Likewise, Big Roland Potter. Number 8, Dante Noel Simmons was outstanding. Conor McKinney too on the wing. Harry Wells. Some of the replacements coming up. Loosehead prop Keelan Doyle. Number 5 is Big Charlie Best. And then Harry Burrows is in there. Dylan Montgomery, what a super sub he was. 14 was Harry Wells, scored a crucial try. Younger brother James was excellent. Older brother James was excellent as well. And full-back Leo Graham. man of the match gets his winner's award. And we're getting a few words from the Campbell skipper, Paul Henry, before he goes up to receive the trophy from the president of the Ulster branch of the Irish Rugby Football Union. A pride in Estonia himself, Paul Hart. He'll probably be a bit sad that he doesn't get to hand over to a representative of his old school, but great man that he is, he knows that he's witnessed a very, very good final, and whoever lifts this trophy is thoroughly deserving of that honour. So here we go. It's going to be Paul Henry, the captain of Campbell College, to lift the oldest rugby trophy in all of Ireland and the second oldest rugby trophy in the world. Only the London Hospitals Cup has been played for longer. First played for 150 years ago. And Campbell College once again are the champions, and the cup is going to go back to East Belfast. They lift it up for the photographer, and they turn it around, I think, to face our cameras, and look what it means to those boys from East Belfast. They don't care that it's freezing, they don't care that they haven't got a blazer on, and all they care about is what we're about to see. And what they care about is Paul Henry lifting this wonderful trophy aloft. The Ulster Schools Cup is now the property for 1 year of Campbell College in Belfast.
Gareth Steenson alongside me here. We're waiting to get some reaction from the Campbell connection as they lift the trophy. How will those boys be feeling now, Gareth Steenson?
Oh, look, that's a spectacular moment for them, isn't it? It's great to see that they can enjoy that moment. I was kind of just sort of saying there for Paul Henry there, he must be a bit nervous there about making sure he got all the names right, but he did a heck of a job, and it's great to see, so delighted for them.
Well, Richie McMaster, the coach of Campbell College, is with us, watching the pictures of his boys lift that trophy in front of the fans. How special?
It's absolutely incredible, Gavin. It was a goal of ours back in May, June time whenever we got together the first time, and from the outset, and to see those pictures there today, it's actually quite unbelievable, but we did it, yeah.
Let's talk about the game. Great start.
Yeah, great start for us. We got an early score. We settled the nerves a wee bit. We spoke a lot about starting well, starting early. So great to get a 5-pointer early on, which, as I said, settled the boys. But Ince has always come back into it, and I knew they would be very, very strong. So.
Conditions a big factor today?
I think so. I think we spoke about playing into the wind in the first half just to try and get a bit of traction into the game and obviously play a bit and connect. Didn't maybe work out as well as we wanted it to, but at the same time, I think we made really good use of the wind in the second half, pinned Ince back, and they struggled to exit, so yeah.
What was the half-time message then in that huddle?
Just to stay true to yourselves, stay consistent. Like I said in the paper during the week, we asked 3 things of the boys this year: to commit, to connect, and to believe. The first 2 came relatively easy, but it took until the 60th minute there to then believe, so yeah, over the moon.
Some lovely tries, but what a way to finish it over the line there, right at the death.
Yeah, I was just saying to some of the Ince boys, back in 2023, that was us in the receiving end in the last play of the game, so that's sport, that's rugby, and you know, I'm very, very friendly with Jamie, and he was head coach of Ince that day, but I think just this year was our time. I just really believe it was our time this year.
Special shout out to the fans, they've been great down that far end.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. The Black Brigade out in force, which is great to see. But I just want to make one special mention to the McKinney family today. I know they'll be watching at home, and this one's for John. That's, you know, that's all.
I spoke to John after a few Schools Cup finals. He's the heart and soul of what was Campbell Rugby for a number of decades.
Yeah, John was Mr. Campbell for 43 years. Obviously his passing in December was felt by the Campbell community very strongly, but today, you know, I felt we honoured his legacy. I'm really, really proud of the group.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
much. Great performance. Enjoy with the boys.
Appreciate it.
Try and round a couple of them up and send them our way if you can. Good luck. Well done again, Richie. Congrats.
Well done.
Well, I think they're going to enjoy this one for a while. Our fearless runner, Jude McCann, is down there trying to get the hold of the captain. I think he could be a while. Richie spoke very well. It means an awful lot to the school.
It does, especially after what's happened with the school, the community in section, you know, over the last year and stuff. So look, I'm sure that was something they probably, you know, had in the back of their minds, and doing it for the McKinney family. So listen, it's great that they were able to enjoy a moment like this today and to celebrate it as a school, as a community, you know, just talking about there. So look, it's a great day for Campbell Rugby.
It's a release of emotions because they had to be so composed, particularly in that second half.
It is, you know, and like this is what I'm like. You got to give a lot of credit to a lot of those young fellas there, because it would have been very easy, literally, to go off task, maybe go off on their own bit of white line fever. But they really stuck true to what they were doing there, and you got to give credit as well, because they're against the clock as well. The time's ticking down. They're only 3 points down. They're probably feeling they needed a bit more territory, get the scores in place. But again, you know, pressure moments. You know, a drop ball from Inston around the halfway line, a turnover. Next thing they're in their 22. They're defending again, and full credit to what Campbell did there at the end.
Some talented players across the board, but who were the guys who really stood out for you from the Campbell perspective?
So from the Campbell perspective, obviously, like the way they played there, you know, Paul Henry again, captain on the side, did a really good job. I felt, you know, he's kind of led the team throughout the year. I really had a good thinking around Jack Best as well. The two halfbacks actually performed really well. Special mention as well to the two Wells boys. They both got themselves in the score sheet, and I think that's really important in there. But again, David Nelson again, a couple of tries as well in the maul. So there's a couple of players in there who, you know, maybe can step on to bigger and better things as well, but there's still young fellas in there who probably got a couple of years left at the schoolboy level as well.
I think the great thing for today was the variety of tries, the different type of rugby that was playing in trying conditions.
Exactly, and that's what you want to see. The ball was being spread. You know, it's always tricky as well whenever teams come, especially a lot of these schoolboys will play on grass, and then to come out here like to play, you know, on a plastic pitch as well. So they've obviously had to adapt with ball presentation, all these different bits and pieces. It is windy. I know the guys in comms were talking about the fact that they wouldn't be used to stands and a swirling wind. So there's lots of things in there that they had to take on board. But the way they played the game, the spirit they played, I think there was only one scuffle in the far corner at any stage, so it was played in good spirits as well. But like you said, Gavin, the standard of rugby that they were playing, both teams, right? Like both teams could have won that game today. And look, unfortunately, one team has to win, some one team has to lose, and that's the way it is today.
Well, let's take a look at those second half tries.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just quick turnover, getting the ball into space. You know, real quick pass in there, really integral play off the scrum, and again, just picking holes that they did, and to get the ball into the outside channel there for Harry Wells to get in the corner was really, really important. He just finished it off. But again, you get close to the try line here, patient, just being patient with what they do. I think the ball was never going to be moved out of the backs at any stage at this point. I'm sure Jack Best, he's standing behind there just praying that the big boys get over the line. I know I would be. And again, fair play to them there. They get that one opportunity and they get across the line, and to do it in such a pressured moment, fair play there at that point.
And bearing in mind they were held up not long before that.
Yeah, they were, and again, that's credit to what Ince were doing. Ince's defensive effort was outstanding. It was always going to have to be at that point, but it was a really good effort and good performance from the boys.
Well, the captain has arrived, Paul Henry. We didn't think we were going to get the hold of you after that. You enjoyed those celebrations?
Yeah, it's surreal. Like the way we won it as well makes it even more special. Against a really good Ince team who beat us earlier on in the season quite comfortably, so we knew we were going to have to up our game here today. And to be fair, I think we did. I thought our discipline let us down a bit, but I think we showed fighting hard at the end just to stick in it and trust the process and get a score to win us the game. So yeah, I'm so happy.
What a game of rugby, and what a start for you guys.
Yeah, a quick start, something we spoke about in the build-up, because in our 3 other cup games we've not started how we would have liked. We've conceded first in all 3 cup games, so to score first I think gave us real confidence, but to be fair to Ince, they came back firing, and yeah, it was a really, really tough game.
No nerves out there?
Oh, there was a bit of nerves, to be fair. The legs felt a bit heavier this morning, but once we got started and once we got going, it was just another game of rugby, and yeah, we just stuck to our process and thankfully got over the line.
We were very impressed with the standard of rugby in these conditions. How hard was it to play out there?
Yeah, no, the wind was a really big factor, especially in the first half for us when it was when we were playing into it. So I think when we went down 7 points at half time, I think, you know, that we were saying we're quite confident here that we're just going to stay in their half and hopefully just grind out scores. And to be fair, I think that's what we did. So, yeah.
Bit edgier in the second. How were you feeling when it was getting into those closing moments?
Like it's hard to say, like, you obviously just try, stick to your process, just trust one another, but it is hard when you're looking at the clock and you're saying there's 69.5 minutes to go, and you know one more mistake, you've lost. So I think I was just trying to stay calm, even though it was hard, but yeah, I'm really proud.
What did it feel like to lift that trophy?
It's heavy, but really, really happy. Like, I've